Hey guys, I really hope the audio is going to be okay for this video because I am literally just using like my broken headphones. Look. So that's like my really cool, super cool vlog girl equipment. It's currently, what time is it? Like 9 o'clock. And I'm just outside on my campus. Why am I here at this hour? Oh my gosh, it is raining. At least probably nobody will walk by me now because it's raining. I really wanted to film this video outside, and I will tell you why. It's because I'm gonna talk about this little secret spot I have. I'm not in it, and I'll reference this, I think. But I have this little secret spot. It's not actually a secret. A lot of people like go around there, but there's this little like terrace at my school, and there's this little ledge that overlooks a sidewalk. And I just go into like the corner of this terrace and I sit on that ledge like pretty much every day, and I will just write or read or just think and do whatever I need to do and just be with my thoughts. And it is actually my favorite part of the day, just like being in my space. So yeah, I just wanted to be outside while I film this video. I wanted to talk to you guys today about why I write. Also, I'm feeling so English teacher today. Like, I'm wearing this little cardigan, and I had like my little iced coffee this morning, just like writing poetry in my little cardigan, and it's like raining and it's like fall, and I just feel so English teacher. That's awesome, guys. This is like kind of a spontaneous video, as most of my videos are, but I've just been thinking about this a lot today. Like, I haven't stopped thinking about this today. By the way, I want to give like a quick little bit of a trigger warning, just because I'm gonna touch on some things with heavier implications. So if that makes you uncomfortable, I guess click off. But yeah. So what really prompted this is, I'm not going to be like specific or anything, but I was talking to my friend this morning, and we just have a friend who was doing some things that they shouldn't have done, acting in a way that I know is inconsistent with the kind of person that they want to be. And it was just really upsetting for me to hear about this, because it's a friend that I really relate to. On some level, we've lived really different lives, but have dealt with some of the same struggles and insecurities. And so I was upset because on some level, I know how that person feels. I understand them. And it was just really upsetting to see them dealing with these things in ways that are just ultimately really self-destructive. And that's not, whoa, that's not really something that I relate to a ton, but this conversation definitely sparked a lot of reflection and reevaluation for me today. And I was just dealing with a lot of emotions this morning, which I realized were mostly just empathy for this friend, but I was upset. So anyway, feeling kind of overwhelmed, I go to my little like corner ledge, and I put on my music, except I already had on music because I actually don't walk anywhere without listening to music. I always have these broken headphones in. And I just started to write about it. Even though I didn't really know what to write about, I didn't totally know like why I was really just upset by this, because I don't know, maybe it didn't really seem like that big of a deal. I just started writing about the way that I was feeling and about the situation, and I started writing about empathy. And then I said, what is the point, or I wrote, what is the point of me being able to empathize to this extent if I can't help anyone? I can't help this kid. And I do think, brothers like people, I do think, and I've talked about this before, that a lot of the time we go through things so that we can develop compassion. And that's actually something that I've read a lot about lately, that we've talked a lot about in class and just like reading different philosophers lately, is that some suffering is necessary in order to develop compassion, to develop understanding for people. And at the very least, I do believe that we go through things in order for us to know how to pray for the people that we understand, the people that we feel for. But I'm sitting here and I'm writing about what is the point of me being so hurt right now on behalf of this person if I can't help them. And then as I'm writing about that, I'm reminded of the book about the girl that like bleeds when she sees other people bleed. I've never read it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. And I'm thinking like, well, I can't empathize like to that extent. And then I look down at my wrists, and I noticed that they're just covered in ink. And that reminded me of a person that was on my mind who I knew was hurting themselves, has hurt themselves. And I started thinking about that, and I started writing about ink and blood, which are two very incomparable things, two very incomparable meanings, but they can represent the same thing. They can both be a method of responding to pain, right? And I went on for a few pages, and then I started writing about how if there was a way that I could take the pain from this person and afflict a piece of paper instead of doing whatever they were doing in order to process it, I would do it. And then I was writing like, okay, but I probably don't actually understand what this person is going through at all. Like, to be so for real, I am really empathizing right now. I'm feeling a lot on behalf of this person, but I probably don't actually understand this person at all. And maybe I will never understand anything beyond myself. Maybe the only thing we can ever truly understand is our own experiences. And then I wrote that despite that, I wish that I could articulate to this person that you don't need to understand anything at all in order to put it on paper, because the pen knows something that the knife doesn't. And I wrote that line and I stopped writing, and I looked down at my ink-stained hands from writing all this out, and I realized that I felt better. And after going into this not even knowing what I was going to end up writing about, and I looked at that line, a couple of thoughts occurred to me. The first thought was like, that's a pretty cool line. I could probably use that. I think this could inspire another writing project, poem, song, something with a little bit more intention, because that's a really interesting metaphor that came out when I was just like writing, just to write. And my other thought was, okay, Tyler Joseph. Okay, yeah, it makes sense that you're going to a 21 Pilots concert in a couple of weeks. Like, that just makes sense for you. Doesn't it? And I felt better. And I know the story's kind of random and a little heavy maybe, and hopefully vague enough for you to be able to interpret it in whatever way that you need to. But I do think it's a really good anecdote that just kind of emphasizes the importance of writing. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I think if you're happy, if things are going really well for you right now, you should write about it. You're gonna thank yourself for taking the time to remember these moments. You should be a historian for the moments that you want to remember in the future. If you feel like nothing's really going on in your life right now, you feel kind of neutral, whatever, you should write. You know why? Because you can look for the beauty in the mundane. You can make time to be still. You can spend time looking for all the things that you love about the world and about yourself and about your passions, and just kind of sit with that, because that's going to bring you a lot of joy. And if you're going through something, I would recommend that you should write, even if you don't know how, even if you don't know where to start, or you don't know what you're feeling or why you're feeling it, or you're used to doing other things in order to cope. The pen knows something that the knife doesn't. Not that those are the only two ways in order to go about a situation, but I think you get the metaphor. The pen knows something, period. The pen knows something that you don't know. There's just something about writing that figures itself out. You don't really have to understand what you're going to write about, because what you're writing about is going to understand you. It's a reflection of you, and so it's so much clearer to understand things and just to process things when it is just written out in front of you. Even if you're overwhelmed, like sometimes it's just hard to write because you're overwhelmed and it's hard to sit with that, but I promise that it's so helpful and it's so worthwhile, even if it's hard to do. You don't have to know how to write, you just do it. I am so English teacher, oh my gosh. I actually think the same thing goes for prayer, which is just like an entirely different conversation. You don't have to know how to go about it, you just do, and then it happens. I think for me personally, I'm in a really good place in life at the moment. I think I'm really happy. I think I have a lot of goals and things that I'm looking forward to and people that I'm getting a lot closer with. and projects that I'm working on, and I am making time every day on my little secret, not secret ledge to write, and to not just write about all of the different things that I have going on because I'm a very busy person, but to just sit outside and feel present with the world, and write about nature. I actually might show you guys a little bit of the poetry that I wrote yesterday. I just was kind of writing about music, and I was just writing about like there's music outside that's just in the conversations of strangers, in the traffic, and the leaves scraping the ground, and it just goes to show that there are so many little things to be thankful for, little things to think about and be present with. Another thing about writing is it doesn't have to sound good. It doesn't even have to sound coherent, really. I used to kind of put that pressure on myself, I think, and I just don't. I just don't put that pressure on myself to make what I write sound good, because it doesn't have to. That's not really the point. And a lot of the time when I do write, I get something out of it, whether it's a line or a concept or a metaphor, some kind of idea or inspiration, oh, I can use this for an actual project. But you just should write to write, really. There's something about putting something on paper that is just really relieving. You're not internalizing it. You are, even if it's a private thing, even if you're not sharing it on the internet, like me, that's actually a form of self-expression, but usually you don't share everything that you write on the internet. I don't share everything that I write on the internet. You're putting it out there. You're putting it on paper, you're putting it out there, you're expressing yourself. All that being said, you don't just write on days where things are good. There's days where I get really overwhelmed, like this morning, where I just go to my little corner and I get my headphones and I write, or I read, or I just think. That works too, as long as you're just present. This place that I have, it's really just such a special place for me that I have no desire to be scrolling through my phone or whatever. If I was writing in my room, I would get distracted because I'm on this thing way too much. I need to work on that. But I've been encouraging a lot of people lately to write. I guess that's just some of the best advice that I could give anyone. And I've just been meeting a lot of people, and some people just get so caught up in looking for a relationship that they don't know themselves. Some people just get so caught up in trying to find someone so that they don't have to be alone that they forget that being alone is awesome. It's great. It's really good. So when I meet someone like that, I try to just be hey, maybe you should journal about this, low-key, yeah. Anyway, I cannot even explain to you how important all of this is. I can't sit here and explain to you how or why writing and self-expression is important and effective. I can only tell you that you should do it and experience it yourself. And if it doesn't look exactly the way that I do it for you, if it's different for you, that's awesome. Go find something that you yourself love doing, something that inspires you, something that allows you to express yourself and be present and be still and do that thing every day. So that's just kind of what's been on my mind all day. Hey, I actually have some videos coming up, or in my head, planned in the future, for the future, that are gonna be super so much fun and silly and funny and stuff. I'm really excited to just keep making videos because I really enjoy making videos so much. Yeah, so many cool, fun things coming soon, so you should totally subscribe, totally turn on post notifications. Do you guys love this cardigan that I thrifted, my English teacher cardigan with the stars on it? I'm actually obsessed with it. Don't miss out. Subscribe to my super cool, awesome, cool girl channel. Thank you guys. I love you. Good night. Guys, it is raining, so that I'm just still sitting out here. But I want to say, I like hearing from you guys. So if you leave a comment, that would mean a lot to me. It would make me very happy. I'd probably write about it in my journal. Probably not, actually, but I would appreciate it. I appreciate you. Yeah. Okay, bye.